What's good, sports gamers? And in this video, I'm going to be going over with you some things you need to know immediately to get off on the right foot gameplay wise in MLB The Show 25. I'm Chris from Sports Gamers Online, and alright, let's get it. In MLB The Show 25, you're given 3 different interfaces to hit the ball. By default, it will be on zone, which gives you the most control but the biggest learning curve, making you aim the left stick where the ball is going while also having to time it perfectly with the button. And zone hitting brings a PCI. Now when I mention PCI, it stands for plate coverage indicator, and it's made up of 3 parts with artwork displaying each part: the middle, the inner, and outer region of your PCI. You can turn the visual aid for any of these off in your settings. The overall size of your play coverage indicator is the average of the batter's contact and vision ratings, modified by the pitcher's hit per 9 and K per 9. The higher your contact rating is, you're more likely to get line drives instead of pop-ups and fly balls, and your vision helps you deal with fouling the ball off instead of outright missing it. There's also timing, which focuses solely on timing your swing where the ball is hit to decide the success of your swing. And directional, which adds the ability for you to influence the direction of your swing, more so than just timing. When you begin a pitch, you will notice the ball will be shaded with the shadow around it. This is where the pitch could land if you nail your pitching interface. I think Classic is the only one that doesn't have this enabled. More accurate pitchers' shaded area will be a lot smaller than inaccurate pitchers for obvious reasons. And certain pitches like fastballs are easier to control and thus have smaller shadows than a curveball or a slider, which in general have bigger shadows. If you're wondering why you're constantly throwing balls, you're probably beginning your pitch with 70% of the shaded area already out of the strike zone. For example, on the slider away, if you've nailed the pitch motion, you want to make sure it has almost no shot of landing in the strike zone. But if you want to throw a strike, give yourself a good chance of it landing in a strike by making sure your shaded area is in the strike zone. By going into your settings and to your pitching settings and enabling pitch trail, it would actually tell you if where you're aiming at is going to be a ball or a strike at the current moment by the changing of the color. When you're running to a base and it may be a bang bang play at second or third, you're going to want to slide to increase your chances of being safe and slide away from where the ball is coming from. If the ball is coming from right field, slide to the left. If the ball is coming from the left, slide to the right. If you're attempting a steal, you should slide to the back of the base to avoid the tag and increase your chances of being safe, so slide to the right. When you're batting against a pitcher that throws from the same side that you're batting, the glaring weakness most hitters have is struggling to hit inside pitches because you need to swing quicker to hit it successfully. So knowing that, make sure your lineup isn't loaded with guys who all bat lefty or righty to protect against the pitcher throwing from that same side. And switch hitters, of course, are gold to make sure you always have a better chance in general of hitting the pitcher. New to MLB The Show 25 is a mechanic called ambush hitting, which expands or decreases your plate coverage indicator depending on if you guessed right or wrong on where the pitch is going. This gives you a bigger or smaller window to hit that pitch in the location you guessed. And you simply do it by moving the right stick to the left to cover the left side and left middle, or to the right to cover the right and right middle part of the plate. And if you change your mind, clicking in the right stick lets you remove your selection. At the plate, there are 3 types of swings you can attempt to hit the pitch with. If you hit circle or B on Xbox, you will attempt a contact swing, which lets you cover more of the plate when you swing, increasing foul balls and also increasing your window to successfully hit the pitch. But the cons are you will not hit the ball as far as you can. Hitting X or A, if you're on Xbox, gives you a normal swing, which is the middle type. You won't get penalized as much, but you're not going to be swinging for the fences every swing. A lot of people just use the normal swing. And lastly, hitting square or X on Xbox gives you a power swing, which shrinks your PCI, giving you a smaller window to make contact, so you're more likely to miss, period. But with the pro of being able to hit the ball the hardest and furthest of the 3 swings. So if you force the situation where the pitcher has to throw a strike and you know they're probably about to throw a fastball, a power swing will be very beneficial. In MLB The Show 25, your camera view is the key to everything, and there are a select few that will give you a fighter's chance playing online specifically, which are any of the strike zone cameras, whose main pro are they all help you pick up the ball a lot better opposed to the further back views that let you see your whole batter and their batting stance and the whole stadium. Pressing R2 or RT lets you review the pitches thrown to you or pitches you've thrown to that batter last time, and after the first pitch, any pitch after that at bat. This can help you remember what got you out last time, what pitch you hit well, and even give you insight into the pitcher's tendencies against you. If you struggle with pitches in certain areas, it may be time to get used to the PCI anchor system. The purpose of this is it helps those who opt for zone hitting to have their PCI start in different areas. Could be a spot you're struggling in perhaps. So by moving your left stick around the strike zone and then clicking in your left stick, you can start your PCI in different areas by locking it in that section. So you don't have to worry about moving your left stick or moving it as much to reach that high and inside fastball because your PCI is already there. You can even set it in your settings to start in different spots depending on the batter and pitcher's handedness. There are 4 different ways to deliver pitches to the plate in MLB The Show 25. By default, it will be pinpoint pitching, which causes you to aim with the left stick and with the right stick simulate a pitch with the different motions each pitch possesses to throw it successfully. Just be aware of the preview speed you need to swing the right stick when you select a pitch. Not matching the speed as close as possible can really mess your pitch up. There's also Pulse, which has you aim the left stick and hitting X or A on Xbox to determine the effectiveness of the pitch. Pure Analog has you pull the right stick down and back up to determine its effectiveness and accuracy. Classic, which takes you back to the simple days of aiming the pitch and just hitting X or A to throw the ball. And Meter, which has you hit X or A to stop within the meter to determine the effectiveness of the pitch. If you have somebody on the base pass and they need to advance a base, you can either hold L1 or LB on your controller to tell them to advance to their next base. And as soon as they reach that base, as long as you're still holding L1 or LB, they will go on to the next one. Now, if you need to tell one base runner to go and the other to stay, you're gonna have to do it manually to avoid situations of base runners going when you didn't want them to. The default system to do this is by highlighting where they are on the base, aka the guy you want to move, with the left stick, and you will see their icon light up. And then hit the button of the bag you want them to go to that corresponds with the button on your controller. This will help you be more precise in your base running if you just want one guy to go, but after the play develops, you want the other guy to go so you can then send him. And if you selected somebody to go to another base and it doesn't look like they're gonna make it, you can tell them to retreat by highlighting their icon and telling them to go back to the base that corresponds with your button. Another way to help yourself get better pitches to hit and start recognizing patterns is to see how they open each at bat to you, to lefties and righties. You may catch your opponent giving you an easy pitch to predict and lay off or smack into the stands. Lefty on lefty, maybe they always open with a slider down and away to get you to chase. Now if you peep this and don't swing, you took that out of their arsenal. And maybe they start leaving something in the strike zone because they know you won't swing at their slider now. When your opponent has a runner on first, help yourself out and try to force a double play by pitching low in the zone with sinkers or any kind of breaking ball. This increases the chance of your opponent hitting over the top of it and straight into the ground. When fielding, there are a few things you're going to want to know how to do and when to do them. First off is diving for the ball. In the infield, it's kind of a last minute thing once you realize you aren't going to be able to simply sprint to it. And it also depends on how fast the ball is hit, how fast you should dive. Line drives, you're probably going to need to take 1 or 2 steps, then go for the dive. While slower ground balls, you will be able to run it down a bit before you need to decide. And to dive, you want to hit R2 or RT on your controller to go for the ball. Again, you want to decide to dive as a last resort so you're not doing it too early when you could have run a few more steps before going all out. Another thing to be prepared for when fielding is the throwing meter. If you landed in the green, it's an accurate throw. Landed in the yellow, it's 50-50. Hit a red and it's time to pray it doesn't land in the stands. Now the green meter when your feet are still will stay in the middle of your throwing meter. But as you begin to throw on the run, the meter will move away from the middle as you begin your throw. So prepare for that possibility happening. Before you throw a pitch on the mound or a throw to a base, hitting L1 or LB or hitting another base's icon before you throw will allow you to cancel that throw. And the same works for a pitch you selected that you changed your mind on. This is pretty much one of the basics of baseball, and there's a reason for it. So especially when you have the guy going home, throw to your cutoff man by hitting L1 or LB on your controller. You might catch others trying to advance thinking you're going home and trying to steal an extra bag. If you want to intentionally walk a batter who has been dominating you or you just don't feel like pitching to them, hit L1 or LB on your controller and then press circle or B if you're on Xbox. While at the plate to pinch hit for your current batter, hit left on the D-pad, select who you want to take out and then put them in. And for your bullpen, you hit right on the D-pad to do the same thing for your pitchers. Just make sure you're not putting in a lefty versus an all right-handed next three batters, because you can't take them out until he's faced all three. So alright sports gamers, I hope this video was able to help you out. And if you like our content, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online for more MLB The Show content. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good y'all.